I've done this many times. I did this on Discovery Channel to teach Babylon what orgasm without touch is. Of course, I had a lot of resistance to Babylon people, but orgasm without touch is so possible. It really is. You know, our brain is the biggest sex organ that we have, and when we really drop into that space, we're going to, the first most important part of orgasm without touch is breath. Okay, so in Tantra we really work with the breath. The breath that we're going to be using is the holotropic breath. So the holotropic breath can really, it actually produces, we have DMT in our body, but it actually produces the DMT and it starts to activate. So you can actually go into higher states of consciousness in the holotropic breath. They use it in orgasmic birthing. So we use the holotropic breath. So what that is we don't pause on the breath. So I'm going to be doing it, the breath, and the receiver, Michal, will be doing the breath. So the breath is circular, there is no pause. So it sounds like this. We're breathing through our mouth. So no pause, just you can go quite fast or you can go quite slow, but please listen to your own breath. If you're new to breath work, you may feel dizzy, or we don't want you to hyperventilate, but if you feel dizzy, slow the breath down. But it always has to be rhythmical, it has to be circular. On the inhalation and the exhalation is the same time. Okay. So first we start to breathe. So Michal will start to breathe. I'm going to do an opening prayer. So I'm going to, before we do any energetic work, we clear the space. And place my hand on my heart, connecting to my temples. Rubbing my hands together, moving the energies apart. As I do, I'm going to set an intention, putting beautiful energy into this healing, bringing in the angels, my gods, my goddesses, protecting the space, using my heart, love, healing, feeling a white light around me and my partner. Then I place one hand on the sacral, one hand on the heart. I'm synchronizing with Michal's breath now. And then to the crown, connecting into the three temples. Me and Michal work together quite often, so he's already activated already. And then bringing the hand from the crown back down to the heart. So there's a few trigger points when we're working with the Kundalini. We're working with this current that I was talking about. First we start to bring from the heart down to the base of the Kundalini or the sex. To activate two, we're going to do figure eights around the breast. This is one trigger point. I'm going to show you the trigger points first and then I'll do the actual. Then we also do figure eights around the sacral, just above the pubic bone and the hips. I'm just starting to move the energy now here, bringing that sexual energy, activating his Kundalini. You can also, from the sacral, move the energy up. Especially those that came yesterday to the De-Armouring, you're already sort of cleared. You will feel energy a little bit more. Yeah. Opening the throat. Another trigger point is the temple here, the third eye. Also to the temples here. There's also a trigger point in the crevice of the ear, just here. Also a trigger point here at the knee. And another trigger point here at the thigh. So we're just moving the energy up and activating. With an orgasm without touch, you will just keep activating this energy. You're activating the current in your body, and Michal is, as he's breathing, is starting to be open and starting to activate within his own currents. I've showed you the trigger points, so at any time you can go through and maybe do a few of the points, but you're constantly activating and opening the Kundalini, awakening. So it's not Reiki. We're not just using cosmic energy, we're using sexual energy, heart energy, spirit, we're using the whole currents. We also activate the heart here by pressing. There's another trigger point here at the lip. So you'll keep doing this and maybe going through and activating different, not in particular orders, but you'll go to the trigger points. So we'll do the session. Then when we start to finish the session, start to bring, we bring the Kundalini up that Michal's going to demonstrate on me, and you can see a little bit more the energy. I want to say to you, orgasm without touch, it's not the typical orgasm that we think. We think like the ejaculation or the clitoris orgasm is a peak orgasm where we go, oh, and we have an explosive orgasm. Orgasm without touch, it's like a dry orgasm. There's no penetration. It could feel like just different sort of sensations or a rippling effect through the body. It's a different type of orgasm. So I always say this to my clients and my people, don't try to think, try to get out of your head that it's going to be this peak ejaculation type of orgasm. It will be quite different. So open, have no expectations, allow just your body to do what it needs to do, and to see what happens with your body. And especially here at Rainbow, there's so many people, we're so sensitive and open to energy already. We're quite empaths. So you will probably feel some activations coming through. But you can do on me. Such a good morning.
You may go into a state of full body orgasm without touching. You can go through the processes very deep, very ecstatic and open now, but like especially the first times when I got it, it was more full body orgasm, big time. Also, I had experience of, some people call it out of the body experience, that I felt like bliss. The people who went to the clinical death, that they died but they come back from it, kind of I got the same state, feeling like my friend was doing it to me, and I heard all the voices around myself. I was in such a bliss that I didn't really wanted to come back. I felt like the time doesn't exist. I felt like in heaven, like really that you don't have to worry about anything, what's gonna happen after the death. I felt like, wow, there is no worries, no any, I don't know, anything. I felt like really like I didn't want to come back, but like it was the break during my workshop. I felt I have a lot of things to do here in that life. Still, I heard people talking around during the break, and yes, I decided to come back in some moment. But really, this empowering experience made me feeling I don't worry about the death anymore. Anyway, I will end up in this state afterwards. There is no to be afraid about. It really empowers your life.
Oh.
So the thing is, like Trisha said, we already work with that energy quite a lot. So we are connected as a conscious lover, so you can feel that the energy flows. But if you don't see it, if you don't feel it so much, then it doesn't mean that the energy doesn't flow. It flows always good, so it cannot be harmful. It's pure energy, and if you don't see it's flowing, if you don't see your partner shaking like we are doing, it doesn't mean doesn't work. It always works. My teacher, Flavio Pop, who introduced me during the break of my workshop, he was also my student and teacher at the same time. He had to do maybe 30 sessions to have that activated, and then he started to have better effects. So today we teach you how to do it, and if you like to become master, you do use it, don't lose it method to increase your own energy, the sublimation, and then you do as he did at every opportunity, every break during my workshops. He was giving sessions for free, and in this way he became better and better. Spirit point on the top of the ear. Temple on the side of the eye. At the beginning, the tendency is to move the energy down. When she is already awakened sexually, energetically, then you may start to move the energy upward. But at the beginning, always from the head to the body. Shaking on the heart chakra. Placing the palm at any chakra. Moving through Shushumna, Kundalini channel. Placing your palm on any chakra. Anti-shock point between your nose and the lips. You can see this is the energetical body. It's just less than 5 centimeters above the body. Yes, and I work mainly on at the spine. I don't work on the hands. I don't work on the legs. I work along the spine where the chakras, main chakras are. Sometimes there are triggers, like on the inner thighs. You work a lot, especially at the beginning, to awaken the genitals, awaken the energetic yoni, energetic lingam. Beyond the gender we have, you stroke, whatever. You may imagine that you are stroking, giving the energetical yoni massage. Of course, as with every massage, sometimes the person to feel the pleasure before being able to feel the full body orgasm, sometimes maybe 10% or less during this massage have emotional healings. If it happens, very often crying out in this case. Sometimes, very sometimes, the anger. Shaking on the solar plexus. Pulling the energy, but not throwing like that. Sometimes people, I see, this is different maybe technique. And moving, we work with the energy. We don't throw the energy away, we move it and transform. Tip of the nose, another trigger. Crown chakra. And the most important is that the person who is receiving, especially all the time, whenever you remember, you breathe holotropically, circular breath, breath without pause. In this way, By just breath, you bringing yourself to the higher dimensions of consciousness. You may create your own DMT, just the breath on the rebirthing sessions, on the holotropic breath sessions. It's very powerful. Combined with this massage, it's increasing. So we mix the things in modern Tantra. Holding the palm, it's also one of the triggers. Breathing, focusing on the breath, it also helps you to be present. Very often you start to think, oh, is it working on me or is it not working? What this guy is doing, why do I not feel anything? Does the other people feel something? Oh, what is going on? And so, things like that. If you think about all those things, as more you think, then you're far away from the process, far away from the achieving the any sensations. So, but when you focus on the breath, always come back to focus on the breath, then you are present. You are present moment. So this is the most important also why we do this breath. Always imagine, when we have more time, we have the exercise that you imagine the ball of energy between your hands. So you may imagine during this massage the energy flowing between your hands. This ball of energy is there, you squeeze it, you stretch it, and it goes through the receiver's body. You can feel, see, imagine the light going through her. Shaking on the pubic bone. This you can do at the beginning. It's really awakening energy. If something is too hard, the person always can raise the palm. Yeah? Shaking on the heart. Also at the beginning, like this. So a lot of strokes, energetical strokes you do on chakras, a lot you do on the genitals. To increase the power of your energy, you can do with two hands. Magnify the energy. You may do a lot on the chakras, especially also the heart and the sacral navel chakra, like this, but also on the other chakras. And most of the stroke, what you do is up and down, especially at the beginning, downward, and when the person is awakened, then upward, and downward and upward, yeah. And at the very end, always we all will do up, only upward. Third eye. So if you forgot about some of the triggers, don't worry. Use those what you remember about. You can always look what we do and be inspired, but stay, you know, like in the doing. Don't think too much. There is no any structure. There is no any order in it, yes? Besides of this tendency that you use more triggers at the beginning and less at the end, and besides that at the beginning you move the energy more downward, and only when the person is fully awakened that you move both direction, and at the end we move only upward. Yes, that's only the orders you have to remember. Then you flow. As less you think, then much better it's there. If you feel that you don't feel anything, don't worry, do more triggers. If you see that your partner is not shaking, we are shaking, don't worry, just do more triggers. But not do all the triggers, exercise also the energetical touch between, yes? And don't worry that the energy doesn't work. It always works, and it's pure energy, it doesn't harm, it's always good. So at the end, We bring the energy upwards. So the trigger, I don't know if I explained this one, on the throat. And this massage we end up different way than usual. We just hold the palm and we look into the person's eyes and we let her stay in the bliss as much she likes. And when she opens her eyes, our ready, present eyes and the smile are waiting for her with welcoming her from the bliss. So yes.
Another one thing with working with this or the serpent, the Kundalini, is you are conscious. You are conscious. So I am fully present in what's happening in my body and the currents, but I'm in an altered state of consciousness, but I'm still aware of what's going on.
You are in this state, you see, we just swapped the roles and we are conscious talking to you. It's like maybe you can compare, some parents may know, like if the children enter the room, yeah, you are conscious about what is happening, yes? You may still, if you are free and the children are small, not depends how you grow them up. You may continue maybe even the lovemaking, but you are conscious about the children in the room, so maybe I don't go into the most extreme kink or whatever this time, but take it more calmly. So that's it, you know, the same here. You can be in the total bliss. I was in the total bliss during this time when I had the biggest bliss that was kind of 1-2 times experience. But this experience empowered me for the rest of my life. I'm not so much afraid about my death. I know where I will end up, and it's a beautiful place, and I know it. I don't need to believe in the heaven. It's there, waiting for me. So that's how it feels, yeah?